Hello friends, this is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming. Welcome to another video. A little later than I expected, but today I have 3 free farmable items that you can get on Solo Self-Found, that you can get, if you just don't feel like trading. Potentially you can farm on a trade league and sell, although at least with the first one I wouldn't recommend that, and I'll explain that in a second. And yeah, just items that are very useful to a variety of characters, very nice to have on an account, especially for a new player, and that you can farm within the game. Now there are a great deal many more because of divination cards that you can farm in this game. However, I'm going to go over ones that are for the most part relatively easy, except once again maybe not the first one, but are for the most part relatively easy to farm up, or you may be able to get just through the natural course of playing the game. And yeah, we'll go for those. Go ahead and tell me in the description below what other farmable items you think should be on a future list or that you think I missed, and let's get into the first one. Alright, you may have been able to deduce, if you're familiar with the game, what the first item is. It is an Oni-Goroshi, which is a one-handed sword that is always 6-linked when you get it, and it is only attainable at one point in the game, and that is in the original Twilight Strand. The monster level in the Twilight Strand is 1, and the only way you can get this is by resetting the area when you kill Hillock by exiting the game. Now, it takes a little bit for the zone to reset, so what you want to be doing is you want to make sure that when you reset the zone, or in order to reset the zone, you want to make 4 characters, and you want them all 4 to continuously run, cycle through them, and by time you beat the zone on the 4th character, kill Hillock on the 4th character, the next one will be done. So you run through, you kill Hillock, and then you exit out, and you move on to the next one. So that is the method. The Oni-Goroshi itself gives you a nice little buff that gives you attack speed and movement speed when you ignite an enemy. It gives you an enormous boost to fire damage, and it also degens you based on the level. It also grows with you as you level, getting 2 to 3 physical damage, and has a relatively high crit chance, so it allows for a sword crit build, which is pretty nice. And with the high elemental conversion, if you're able to mitigate the degen on you, this can be used from level 1 all the way to the end of the game. Can be used to create a variety of builds because there's no stat requirement, meaning all sockets are equal chance to be any color, so you can get pretty interesting builds out of it, and it's a pretty interesting item. Now I'm going to bring up some footage of fighting the boss you need to run into, which is Uber Hillock, which will replace Hillock, and he's very distinct when you run into him. You may have noticed I just killed Hillock in 3 hits. That won't be happening with Uber Hillock, and I'll get into that footage right now. Alright, after literally days of farming, I finally got Uber Hillock here. Now, you can tell Uber Hillock because he has kind of a green sword coming out with a hilt. It looks a little bit different. Also, if you've been killing Hillock in 2 or 3 hits because you have a high level character or a higher level character like I have, you'll notice immediately that he doesn't die very quickly. Now, Uber Hillock has a couple of unique properties here, one of which is that it's much tougher, much higher damage. Happened to come upon it with my double claw build here, but even so, sustaining is pretty difficult. We're gonna get in here, and once he pulls the sword out, he takes on the properties of the map Hillock, in that he will leap slam on you, and chances are good that I won't survive this initial encounter. So you'll see he's on fire now, and if you run away, he will leap slam and summon zombies. So I'm gonna try to stack some poison, back off, and then one of the things you can do is you can kind of kite him if you're playing a ranged character. He can get a whole lot of zombies, and that can make things pretty difficult for you. So we're gonna see if we can kind of pull the zombies away or do something here. Get the zombies out of here. Okay, and maybe go down around this way, take care of them individually or something. When they die, or when they hit you, maybe even, they do a pretty substantial amount of damage as well. Alright, and we're gonna see if we can kill this Uber Hillock. Ooh. The strategy might be to not try to run away if you're playing a melee character. Oh, he still slams you. Okay. So, yeah. In theory, we might end up having to suicide rush him, basically just pull him back to the spawn location, die a ton of times, and hope that we can just get him that way. We are regaining flask charges, it looks like, so... Ooh, that hurt. Alright, so we pulled him back here. Pulled him back into the rocks. He's doing a lot of damage to us now that he's got the sword out, but the sword that he's using is the Oni-Goroshi. And, oh man, does it hurt. We've got a lot of poison on him. Oh, and we got it. Okay, so you can see that nice little glowing light there. We got ourselves the sword. Gonna finish off these zombies, better pick it up so nothing happens. And this is the Oni-Goroshi. It is 6-linked by default. It is one-handed. I don't believe it has any stat requirements, which means you have a pretty equal chance of getting whatever links you may need. You get 2 to 3 physical damage per level. Unfortunately, we have the minimum increased critical strike chance, which is the only thing that can be divergent, I guess. It's 70 to 90. We happen to get 70. You can fix this with a Divine Orb later on. These are not particularly economical to farm because, well, let's see, looking at how long I played here, 2 hours 17 minutes, multiply that by 4. I've been farming this for a little bit over 9 hours now, a couple of hours a day, 2 or 3 hours a day. Finally got it to happen. I wanted to get the fight on camera so that I could put out a proper informational video and show this off, and yeah, it's a pretty great weapon. So I'll go ahead and pull it out. Keep that. We have our gem in here, but yeah, we can throw our gem in Oni-Goroshi, and boom. Doesn't do so much damage to begin with. In fact, it's going to be reduced as compared, but you get a nice little buff, and it's pretty strong overall. So that is the first weapon to farm, or the first item to farm. Let's get into the second. List is the Tabula Rasa, and the way we farm it is through the Humility Divination card, which can be found initially in the Blood Aqueduct, which is where I'm going to recommend you farm it, but it can also be farmed in several maps, including Channel. And the thing is, for maps, you can actually basically set it up in such a way that you have very high quantity and farm it maybe a little bit quicker. But what a lot of people do, especially hardcore players, is they'll level in the Blood Aqueduct. I usually get here around level 58 or so, and then proceed to farm here in hardcore until low 70s, usually around 72, 73. And in the process, I usually get several Humility Divination cards. I can either farm the rest in Channel or continue to farm here. And it's the reason the Blood Aqueduct is so nice to farm is it's just really straightforward. There are 2 sides, and they branch off, and at the ends of a bunch of these little areas, there are guaranteed blue monsters, so you have a fairly high chance of getting these to drop. And also very good experience. It's if you have a decently quick clearing build, you can very easily hit 200 million plus experience per hour here, which is incredibly quick leveling for this stage of the game, especially if you're level 58. You'll find yourself getting through levels, the first few levels as you go through here, insanely quickly. Even on this current character, I'm getting experience, considering how over leveled I am at level 83. That's pretty impressive. But as you can see, you can also see over to the side here the sulfite deposits, so you won't be missing those because you you can easily go grab them. They're not worth too much, but at the time when you're doing lower level delves, maybe delves around level, depth 70, that kind of thing, it's not bad. You can still very quickly get a full, or pretty close to a full amount of sulfite and go farm. So pretty solid, pretty quick way to clear. There are builds that are a lot faster than this. I just happen to have this character, so threw this on here. But yeah, there are builds that clear this much faster, some that clear it a little bit slower. But yeah, you're able to get through, and then as soon as you get through, you simply go back in, press Control, click on it, opens up a new instance. There's a pretty high chance that the sulfite vein will be right there. There's only a couple of spots that it can spawn, and you simply go through and continue going. And I'm gonna see if I can get a humility on here. Usually it's, I'd say if you're farming at the rate of about 200 million XP an hour, and it'll vary very heavily, but I feel like I get one every 10 to 15 minutes pretty often at a pretty quick rate. I've seen people go quite a while without getting them though, so that isn't necessarily always going to be your experience. But this is one of my favorite methods of farming a Tabula Rasa. Another good thing about Tabula Rasa is you can simply, or Tabula Rasa, is you can simply corrupt it with Vol Orbs, and you can get interesting corrupts such as +2 to levels of projectile gems, or +2 to levels of duration gems or area gems, all of which can improve your builds drastically. And the draw is that Tabula Rasa is a 6-link you can use directly from level 1, which will improve your leveling speed throughout the game, giving you access to all those support gems, and it is also all white sockets. But yeah, looks like I lost contact with the realm. Anyway, that is that method. Alright, for our next item and our last item on the list, probably the most useful endgame one. You might see Matthew using it a lot, although he's stated that he is kind of sick of it now. Requires 60 rings to make, 60 unique rings specifically. It is a vendor recipe, and don't worry, this is a really bad vendor's gamble. I currently only have 30 unique rings, so I split 2 chaos 30 times, so I have 60 chaos here. This is one of the reasons why you can't buy a unique ring for less than 2 chaos very often. It's because of the value of this item. I'm gonna go buy those, and then we will show you the vendor recipe. Get 60 rings, and 60 is as many as we have inventory spaces, and I will show you the recipe now. I'll show you the item. The item is called Loreweave. It's a pretty popular item. Because of the price of rings, you can't really ever profit off this. In fact, if you don't play a whole lot, you might be better off just selling your rings rather than getting this, or you can save up and buy the ones you need. But this is totally attainable solo self-found. You simply go to a vendor, sell all of your rings. Oh no, I hope my prophecy doesn't affect this. I might have to do it on another character. We'll see. I forgot I had the 5 unique prophecy. I guess for science we'll see how this works. Alright, so this prophecy is stopping me from completing this, so I will do it on another character. Lesson learned. Alright, let's try this again. Get into my tab, put all of my stuff in here. This character doesn't have any prophecies, I double checked. Oh yeah, a little bit tedious, especially trading for all of them. Luckily a lot of people were willing to sell them in bulk. I got like 5 rings from one guy and 6 rings from another, and 3 from another, and that kind of thing. So most people are willing to sell a lot of these 2 chaos rings in bulk. I didn't double check to make sure that I don't have anything too great. I bought another vendors, but it had reduced quality, or quantity, I mean, which is I'm surprised Ming's Heart is so cheap nowadays. I remember when Ming's Heart used to be used. does not look like the case anymore. All right. And as you can see, we have an unidentified elegant ring mail once we fill this up with unique rings. Let's hope we get a good one. Identify it. And this always has 6 sockets. That's part of the unique quality of it, but it also has a bunch of variables. So 8 to 12 or 8 to 24 all attributes, we got 12. 20 to 60 max life, we got 20, so really bad luck there. That's one of the bigger, more important roles, but the single most important role is going to be the maximum resistances, which can roll 76 to 80. You're going to want an 80% if you can. 79 is not too bad. It gives 6 to 30% increased rarity, 15 to 50 maximum energy shield, so pretty big variable there. 20 to 60 increased global critical chance, and then 15 to 50% increased elemental damage, and 4 to 10 to 14 to 36 physical damage. So pretty interesting. It gives a whole lot of stats, many of which are extremely useful on almost any character, and it automatically has 6 sockets, so it's pretty easy to 6-link. You don't need to worry about wasting your jeweler's orbs in order to attempt to 6-link this. So pretty important and pretty useful for a lot of builds. Having 80 max resist is remarkably useful, and yeah, the physical damage on a body armor is not something you can normally attain. Same with the elemental damage, the crit chance, lots of good stuff on this. Extremely powerful. You can use divine orbs to try to get better rolls on this, and good thing about that is the previous method that I showed you, farming a Tabula Rasa, you can actually sell Tabula Rasa, since you can sell any 6-link for a divine orb. So you can use method number 2 to improve your item number 3 on this list. You can sell your Tabula Rasas that you farm up for Loreweave. Excuse me. So, alright, I hope you enjoyed. Those are 3 useful items for any character that you can farm in Path of Exile. Sorry it took so long for the video. Getting the Oni-Goroshi footage that I wanted took absolutely forever. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I will see you next time. Bye! Hello friends, this is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming. Thank you for watching the video. Behind Eyes Gaming is brought to you by viewers like you. Please don't forget to check out my Patreon in the link below, and also don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon if you'd like to be notified of future videos, live streams, and more. And thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!